is coming for our family.
I said, oh, 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 oh.
Final Destination Bloodlines, ending explained. Welcome back to our channel Movie Creepers. Final Destination Bloodlines rewrites the rules of the franchise while bringing closure to its long-standing mythology in a way that's both ambitious and tragic. By introducing a new generational twist to Death's design, the film finally explains the bigger picture behind the seemingly disconnected accidents and bizarre fatal events that have haunted the series since the beginning. With a story that stretches across time and Bloodlines, Bloodlines closes the loop on a franchise by delivering a sobering answer to a question fans have asked for years. Can you really escape death? Before we jump into the exploration, don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you never miss out on future videos. Thank you. Let's begin. A Nightmare Passed Down. The film centers on Stefani, a college student plagued by horrifying nightmares of a massive disaster at a panoramic restaurant called the Sky Tower. These aren't just abstract visions. Stefani comes to learn their inherited memories, echoes of a premonition her estranged grandmother, Iris, had decades earlier. Iris's vision allowed her to save everyone at the Sky Tower by preventing a devastating collapse, essentially cheating death. But as Final Destination fans know, death doesn't like being cheated. The survivors of the Sky Tower initially seem to escape fate, but it doesn't take long before death comes calling. One by one, they begin to die in the sort of elaborate, chain reaction accidents the franchise is known for. However, what's new in Bloodlines is that death's wrath doesn't stop at the original survivors. Many of those saved by Iris went on to have children and grandchildren, creating lives that were never supposed to exist. That's the twist. Death's design now extends beyond individuals to their entire bloodlines. Iris's isolation and Death's patience. Realizing the horror she's unleashed, Iris spends the rest of her life researching Death's design. She isolates herself in a remote cabin to prolong her life, buying time for her descendants. As long as Iris is alive, her family is safe. But once she dies, her children and grandchildren become the next targets. Iris's death sets the stage for Stefani's desperate struggle to protect her family from being wiped out.
Only by embracing death will it pass you by.
The Last Stand in the Woods. The final act of Bloodline sees Stefani, her mother Darlene, and younger brother Charlie racing against time. They head for Iris's old cabin, hoping it will once again offer safety. But death is always several steps ahead. A jammed seatbelt traps Stefani in the RV, while a chain of events orchestrated by death leads to the cabin's destruction and Darlene's death. Stefani, still stuck in the RV, is slowly drowning. Charlie, in a rare heroic moment, dives into the water, cuts her free, and performs CPR to revive her. In this moment, it seems as if they found a loophole. According to franchise lore, reviving someone from death resets their place in Death's design. For a brief moment, hope returns. Charlie and Stefani survive, their family reduced but intact, and they try to resume their lives.
We need to get off the dance floor!
Lives that were never meant to be saved. But death doesn't like it when you mess with his...
A false sense of survival. But Bloodlines isn't about giving happy ending. A week later, the illusion of safety is shattered. As Charlie prepares for prom, the father of his date, who happens to be a doctor, casually drops a truth bomb. Stefani couldn't have been revived by CPR alone if she had truly died. There was no real death and resurrection. What they thought was a loophole was nothing but wishful thinking. In that instant, the truth dawns on them. Death never left. Their reprieve was an illusion, and with chilling precision, death springs its trap. The same coin that once sparked Iris's original premonition causes a chain reaction that derails a train and sends it crashing into the street. Logs spill from the train, crushing Stefani and Charlie. The bloodline is finished. Death's design is complete. Death ties the whole franchise together. The final scenes roll into the credits with quiet finality. Newspaper clippings collected by Iris chronicle the deaths from every previous Final Destination movie. This confirms a shocking revelation. The survivors from earlier entries weren't just random victims of fate. They were descendants of the Sky Tower survivors. This unifies the entire franchise under a single, elegant umbrella. For decades, death has been tying up loose ends from one critical intervention, showing patience, cunning, and a merciless sense of balance. There's a cruel brilliance to this finale. In many horror films, evil is either defeated or temporarily delayed. But in Final Destination, Bloodlines' death wins, not because it cheats, but because it waits. It operates with terrifying consistency, respecting its own rules, even as it adapts to new variables. That's part of what makes Bloodlines such a satisfying yet devastating entry in the series. It answers lingering questions, patches over plot holes, and ties together years of mythology, all while delivering the series' trademark suspense and spectacle. William Bloodworth's grim truth. Even the presence of William Bloodworth, once again played by Tony Todd, adds gravity to the story. As a franchise's unofficial harbinger doom, his cryptic advice helps Stefani understand the only ways to cheat death, to steal someone's remaining years or die in return. But these are desperate, morally fraught paths that rarely end well. And in Stefani's case, the attempt to revive herself wasn't even real. The film's final gut punch isn't the train accident itself, but the realization that nothing Stefani and Charlie did could have saved them. They were doomed from the moment Iris saw the sky tower fall. Their lives were temporary, an aberration. Death, patient and relentless, simply waited for the right moment to strike. Death always wins. And so Final Destination, Bloodlines ends not with scream or a surprise twist, but with a grim sense of closure. Death is not a villain to be defeated. It's a force to be respected. In this story, death isn't just inevitable, it's justified. And by tying the franchise together through Bloodlines ensures that every previous film, every death, and every desperate attempt to survive now has a clear place in the overarching narrative. It's rare for a long-running horror franchise to bring everything full circle with such clarity. Bloodlines is more than just a sequel. It's the final chapter, the one that explains the rules, seals the fates, and reminds us that in the world of Final Destination, no one ever really escapes. They just buy time. And eventually, time runs out.